It's not easy out here. You will just know you are made in God's image. Soul ties. I would compare myself a lot to these girls. Jacob and I went through a lot. I got a tattoo with like, where's the wedding? Really bad happened in those relationships for me to... Hey guys, it's Valentina. Welcome back to my channel. And for today's video, it's going to be a girl talk. Woohoo! I absolutely love watching these videos on YouTube. I love seeing other girls give other girls advice, and even guys too, because this isn't just only for the girlies, this is for my men too. So I just love watching them. I think they're so helpful and also really motivating to be able to give advice or have advice be given to me by other people who have been through stuff like I have. And I actually have been through a lot. I've been through a lot of relationship stuff. I've been through a lot of mental health stuff, etc. And if you guys don't know, I'm 24 years old. I'm turning 25 on June 16th. I am married and I had 2 previous relationships to my marriage. I know a lot about relationships and just all the fun stuff that you guys want to know about girl talk. So with that being said, let's get started with the questions. On my Instagram broadcast channel, I asked if you guys can ask me questions to answer today, and I'm gonna be giving you guys 5 topics that I picked out that were, I think, the best, to be honest. Like, it's really something that I think everybody can learn from and get help from. So my first question is, how do I get out of a toxic relationship? Bum, bum, bum. All right, guys, so this is honestly harder to answer than I honestly thought, only because when you're in a relationship, and especially if you're in a long lasting relationship like 1+ years and you're used to that person, it's kind of like your first love, your first boyfriend, girlfriend, it's honestly really hard, especially when it becomes toxic, because something that, you know, probably have been taught or not, there's something called like you literally have like a trauma bonding with that person. And so if you guys have been through a lot of like toxic traumas, stuff like that, you guys literally become bonded to each other. It's like, although it's bad for you, you want to stick around because it's something that you're used to and you're bonded with that person through trauma and through toxic stuff. My honest advice is to be strong, and I know it's hard. I know it's hard because I've been there before, girl. And guys, whoever's watching, I've been there before. I've been in 2 previous relationships prior to my marriage, and they honestly were not that great. They were both really toxic. It was really hard for me to leave because I was used to them. I was in a 4-year relationship and then a 2-year relationship, and it was hard. It was really hard. I know, trust me, I get you, girl and guys. It's easier said than done. In my personal experience, I let something really bad happen in those relationships for me to finally be like, I'm out of here, peace. But I really wish, which it's okay, like stuff happened the way it happened for a reason, but if I could go back and change something, I wish I would have just ended the relationship sooner than later, because it would have saved me so much trauma, so much healing that I had to go through. Like, it was just a mess. I was a wreck in both relationships when I was done with them. So honestly, I would tell you, you have to learn to love yourself and give yourself self-worth and be like, hey, even if you're the toxic one, like, you need to be like, okay, I care for this person enough to walk away, and I care for my own self to walk away, and I need to go heal. I need to go to therapy. Like, I need something different, y'all. Like, it's okay to admit that you're the problem too, because it's not always the other person that's the problem, you know. Sometimes it's even us. So it's okay. You have to really like just think about, hello, okay, this is toxic, why? And then literally go through the reasons why. And if there's a lot more reasons for you to leave than to stay, then that's already a really big red flag. Honestly, just finding your self-love, self-worth, and just knowing when it's time to walk away, especially if it gets to a point where it's really toxic, where it's getting to a point of abuse even and stuff like that. I just feel like you should really reach out for help, kind of like notice all the red flags, realize that you deserve way better. And even if you're the one that's in the toxic position, like I said earlier, it's okay. Nobody's perfect, especially when we're young. Like, we're kind of just learning as we go. I just feel like you deserve better, they deserve better, and it's okay to just let that go, because honestly, like, you're gonna heal for your significant other in the future if you want to get married. So yeah, it's really hard though, especially when you're trauma bonded to that person, because like I said, it's not easy, especially if you have personal relationship with them. I don't know if I'm gonna get demonetized by saying the S word, but especially if you're bonded with that person in that way, there's something called soul ties, and I'm a strong believer in soul ties. I believe that when you have intercourse with somebody, you're literally like tied together in a soul tie. So it's just a lot that goes in it, a lot of science that goes in it, and yeah, it makes sense. It really makes sense. So if you're in a toxic relationship right now, I love you, I see you, and you're strong enough to leave. Trust me, if I did it, you can do it too, but don't let it get to a point where you're literally on the floor crying for help and just not knowing what to do. I know you're strong enough to just walk away and know that you're worth more than rubies, because the Lord says you are, and you're strong enough to walk away and know that you deserve better. I love you, you're strong, just know that. Question number 2, how do you learn self-worth? So So this is honestly perfect because it goes hand in hand with the question that I just answered. Self-worth and self-love. I think I can answer both of them. It honestly took me so long to literally know finally how to love myself. I didn't know how to love myself from a very young age. I was bullied in middle school a lot, and it was literally the boys around me because I didn't look like the girls in my middle school, because I went to a middle school where the girls were literally like already developed down there, and I was what, 11, 12 years old? I was a kid. Literally seeing 11 and 12-year-old girls now, I'm just like, wow, that is so sad that guys would tell me like, you don't have enough big things up here and like you're never gonna look as pretty as this girl, while I was literally 11 years old. So that's really sad, and that caused a lot of trauma and a lot of just like not loving myself. I was like, I'm not good enough. I would compare myself a lot to these girls, and I was 11, which is so sad. But so that's why it took me a really long time to really love myself and see myself for who I am, because God made you perfect, and I hope you know that. God made you in his image and he makes no mistakes, and because he is a perfect God and he makes no mistakes, that means that you're not a mistake. Just know that. To really love yourself, I literally had to get up every morning, look at myself in the mirror and be like, you're beautiful, you are made in God's image, you are not a mistake. Like, you have to reaffirm yourself. All the things I just said. Even if you're not Christian, tell yourself you're beautiful, you matter, you care to somebody. Just all these affirmations. Even if it's not biblical or anything like that, you can just tell yourself, you look good today, girl. Even if you're not feeling yourself that day, you gotta still do it, because you will look good even with no makeup and none of that. It really is a process, and it took me a really long time. I got a tattoo, which I'll pop up right here. It says self-love. I got to a point where I was like, I actually love myself. So I got it right here. It's on my right thigh kind of area. I don't know, like right here under my hip. I don't know. But it just kind of is a representation of the growth that I had my whole life, just learning how to love myself and just really knowing that I'm not a mistake, and I never was. Knowing that I am like literally perfect in God's eyes, in my image, just really helped me out a lot, because I don't know, I feel like your self-worth and self-love shouldn't come from other people. It should come from within yourself. If you expect it from other people, to get reassurance from other people, or for people to tell you all the time you're beautiful, you're stunning, you're all these things, but then inside of you, you don't feel like that, it can only go on for so long before somebody calls you ugly or somebody says something mean to you, which can then really do something within you that it shouldn't be, because you should feel beautiful and strong, all these positive affirmations within yourself, and not have that only be from other people. It's good to hear from other people, from your spouse, from your family, from your friends, but it shouldn't only come from them. It should come from within yourself first. So then when other people tell you, even if it's not a good thing, even if they say something negative, you're like, okay, like I know I'm beautiful, like I know I'm that girl, I'm that boy, so your comment doesn't matter to me because I know who I am. But yeah, it's like I told you guys earlier, it's easier said than done, but if you guys just practice self-love every day, like telling yourself I'm beautiful, God is perfect, which means that I'm made in his image, and that means that I'm good, I'm beautiful, I'm this and this. Like, just literally tell yourself every day, even if you sound conceited, like it's better to do more than do too little and then kind of fall into that depression and be like, oh, I'm so ugly, comparing yourself to girls on social media, which by the way, social media is so fake. Trust me, it is so fake. Everybody who posts that they're happy are probably super sad in real life, going through mental health issues. Do not compare yourself on social media, because everything on social media is meant to show their highlights, you know, the highlights of their life. Never really show like the downside of their life. If you see a girl that's skinny and all these things that, you know, society sees as, you know, pretty and all these things, just know that they're probably going through a lot of stuff that you don't even see. So don't compare yourself. That's the number one thing that's probably gonna get you. You're your own enemy, to be honest, because I feel that I'm my own enemy, and I think we're all each other's individually. We're our own enemy. So yeah, you got this. Like, you're beautiful, you're handsome, you're strong, and you matter. Don't listen to the negative comments, and if they do come, tell them, boy, bye, girl, bye. Third question, how to become a better person for someone else. When I got this question, I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to hug whoever wrote this, because I feel like I used to want to become a better person for other people, because I just was a people pleaser. I always wanted to be this perfect person and all these things. But I honestly wrote that question down because I wanted to reword it. I wanted to put how to become a better person for myself, because before you can become a better person for somebody else, you have to become a better person for yourself. Because like I said earlier, with all like the comments and all that people can tell you, but if you're not good within yourself, it's not going to matter. The same thing applies with this question. If you don't love yourself, and if you don't better yourself, you know, mentally, whatever area you're lacking in that you feel like you should be stronger in, then if you end up becoming better for somebody else rather than doing it for yourself, then you're gonna get disappointed, because sadly, and newsflash, we all know this, but people aren't perfect. Nobody on this earth is perfect, and everyone is going to fail us at least once. Our parents fail us, our loved ones fail us, our husbands or wives or whoever, our friends fail us. Nobody is always gonna be like super perfect, this perfect husband, wife, friend, brother, sister, like people are gonna say something mean and it's gonna affect us because we're human beings, where nobody is perfect. So you have to want to become a better person for yourself before you become better for somebody else. So I love that question because it just made me want to hug them. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, it's okay. Like you need to love yourself first. It's really, I see myself in that person because I used to be like that. I used to want to be better for everybody else but for myself. And when it came down for myself, I'm like, dang, like I hate myself. I don't think I'm pretty. I was doing it for other people, and then whenever they would leave, it was like kind of like a dang, like I did this for no reason. And then I would go back and kind of like in the cycle of depression and all these bad stuff because I was doing it for other people. I wasn't doing it for myself. So I think that you should love yourself first before wanting to love somebody else and have somebody else love you back in a relationship. Or it also becomes like a friendship too. Like if you want to be in a friendship and healthy friendship, or it doesn't have to only apply in relationships, but it can apply to friendships. It can apply to your family members too. You have to become better for yourself, then you can become better for somebody else. So then if you're better for yourself, then you're able to show up better for other people. And even if those people leave, I know it's pretty sad when people that we love leave us, but it can happen, and it does happen sadly, then you'll be fine because you'll be still the best version of yourself with or without the person that you love. So I think that was my best advice to that question, and I wanted to reword it and just wanted to virtually hug whoever asked me that because I know it's really hard. It's not easy. So I love you. Number 4, how do you stay positive? Oh my gosh, this is honestly so hard to answer because life is not easy, guys. Life is not easy at all. One moment you're like living your life, you're like, yes, life is amazing. This school, work, life, everything is amazing. And then something happens and you're like, frick, you know? So honestly, I learned to stay positive in the bad areas in my life because I've been through a lot mentally with my family and relationships, and I just learned that, you know, God's got me. Like he's never left my side and he's never gonna leave me. If you are a believer and if you believe in God, then that's something that we should always strive to think about. And that's how I stay positive, honestly. It's really God, because if I was doing this by myself, I don't even know where I would be. I think I would be depressed, laying in bed 24/7 if I was not doing this hand in hand with God. But thankfully, I have a relationship with God and I try to strengthen it every day and just trust him more, because that's literally how I stay positive and how I kind of see the rainbow and the sunshine behind all the clouds and the rain. But it's honestly just thinking, okay, look, I'm going through something hard, but that doesn't mean that I am gonna be here forever, because once you hit rock bottom, and I know this is probably gonna sound cheesy, and I don't think there's anything cheesy in the world, but once you hit rock bottom, the only way to go is up. So if you're at your lowest point in life, whether that be depression, anxiety, something not even mentally debilitating, it could be financially, it can be with a relationship that you got heartbroken, it can be you don't talk to your family no more, it can be whatever you want it to be. If you're in that moment in your life and you've hit rock bottom and you're like, I can't do this no more, I want to give up, the only way from there is literally up. It's easier said than done, I know, but you just really have to push yourself and believe it in yourself that you are strong enough, because you are. Like God made us in a community, like with humans, other humans, because we need each other. So if what's gonna help you is probably gonna be being around other friends or being in a community, going to see a therapist, going to church, get help with a counselor, I don't know, there's so many ways that you can reach out for help. And that's also how I stay positive, because my way to staying positive is having my relationship with God, going to church, staying in community, staying with my family, and just being in the moment, like present. Although there's a lot of crazy things happening in my life, but I always try to stay positive because I know that this isn't the end. I know this isn't the end. Deep down, although I want to give up and I can't do this anymore, I know this isn't the end, and I know that from here I can only go up from here. I know that God's plans for me are much greater than me just laying down in bed all anxious and all these other things that I've been going through. So it's just reminding yourself that you're not alone. There's a God in heaven that is looking at you and cheering you on and just wants to get closer to you. Just lean on to God. Do not lean on your own understanding, and just trust in God. That's really how I stay positive, y'all. It's not easy. It's not easy out here. That's my best advice for that question. Last and final question. How do you know if someone is the one? I love this question because I'm married and I love being a wife. Honestly, you just know. Like that's literally my answer. You will just know. It will feel right. Like I said earlier, I was in 2 relationships prior to my marriage, and every single time I was like, yeah, like I'm gonna marry this person. With both relationships, I was like, yeah, marrying this person, boom, boom, boom. Let's get this started. Like, where's the wedding? You know, I was really young. I didn't really really know what marriage really was. And you know, that there was gonna be obstacles. I just was young and in love, right? But there was always so many red flags. I was wanting like the fairy tale wedding. I wanted all these things. I just wanted to be loved back. I really did. I was young. I want to hug my younger self because I feel so bad for her. But it will just feel right. You will never be with somebody and be confused. If you're ever confused and be like, should I break up with them? Are they good for me? Should have they spoken to me like this? Should have they hit me like this? It really could be that deep for real. No, nobody should be touching you like that. Nobody should be speaking to you like that. So there's, I don't know if it's a Bible verse, but there's somewhere I've heard that like something that's meant for you will not come with confusion. It will come with peace. Because I think, okay, I'm gonna look it up. In 1 Corinthians 13:4-7, it says, love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up. Love never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. So if you replace the word love with the word God, it's just perfect because it says God is patient and kind. God is not jealous or boastful. Literally, God is love. God equals love. So if you see that in your relationship, there's a lot of the things that are not equal to God, which is the complete opposite of love. The opposite of love is hate. The opposite of being kind is being mean. So if you feel this like ickiness to you, if you feel like there's no peace in the relationship, then that's how you know you should get out of there. I feel like when there's real love and when you know that somebody is the one, that person will come with peace. And don't get me wrong, Jaco and I went through a lot in our first stages of being just boyfriend and girlfriend. We had to unlearn a lot of toxic ways that we had learned from previous relationships coming into this relationship. So in the beginning, it was honestly really hard, and we were a little bit toxic. We would always just bicker about a lot of stuff. Like I said, we were unlearning our toxic behaviors. It was really hard, but when we unlearned them and when we really like just reached out for help and, you know, worked on ourselves individually, you can really see that the effort it took from the both of us to change. But if you're with somebody that you think is the one and they're staying the same, they're not changing, and they're saying, oh, like I want to change for you, and I'm never gonna do this again, I love you so much, and then they don't change. First, that's manipulation, because if they promise change without actual changing, that's manipulation. Don't stick around for that. But if you guys are both changing and wanting to be better people and just pushing for a really pure and healthy relationship, then I feel like, you know, like pray about it and ask God, like, God, is this the right person for me? Because like I said, our relationship will never be perfect. You guys are gonna argue, there will be disagreements, but it won't be messing around with your heart and soul and peace within you. And when that happens, just know either God is telling you get out of there, or you guys need time apart, come back together. I don't know what the circumstance may be, but the only things that come from God will bring you peace, because God is a prince of peace. He is not a prince of fear, of anxiety, of none of that. So if it doesn't bring you peace, it's not from God. I feel like I have so many things to talk about relationships because like I said, I've been in 2 long-term relationships and now I'm married, happily married, and it's been amazing. So I can give a little bit of insight in both areas, toxic relationships and being in a healthy one. So if you guys want me to make another video just about relationships, I can go on and on. And honestly, I love it because I feels like I went through the things that I went through for a reason. I can help out a young girl or a young boy going through something like this who are confused, don't know where to go to for advice, and I'm here. I'm your big sister. I'm big sister Val for y'all. So yeah, that was all the 5 topics that I wanted to talk about. If you guys want me to do part 2 of this, I will. There's a lot of topics that you guys told me to talk about, but I had to only make it 5. But I love you guys so much, and I hope this was so helpful. I know I just talk so much, but I'm just so passionate to like help others. I really am. I think about 16-year-old, 15-year-old me, and I was just so clueless, y'all. Like I was clueless. I didn't know what I was doing, and I wish I had somebody to tell me, hey, like don't do this. Hey, like I think you should get help if you're going through this, you know? So I want to be that big sister for you guys and just be here and really guide you guys. There's a lot of things of this world that will literally like mislead you, or just, I don't know, like they wouldn't want the best for you, but I generally want the best for you. I love you. I'm rooting for you, and I hope you take this advice into your personal situations in your life too, and just kind of help it out a little bit more. And if you want, you can DM me after this video and be like, hey girl, this helped me out a lot. Thank you for this advice. I love answering back to you guys so much and staying connected with my supporters. But yeah, that was it for today's video. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And there's gonna be 1 video every single week, so don't even worry about this because this is just the beginning of my channel, and I'm so happy that you guys have been loving my vlogs. I'm gonna be doing a lot more of these things, so don't worry because there's gonna be way more of these videos in the future. So with that being said, I love you guys so much. Comment down below this emoji if you made it to the end of the video, because hello, you're amazing. I love you. And even if you left and came back, I love you still. But I love you guys so much. God bless you, and I will see you in the next video.